Yeah, not sure what happened there. I got disconnected. Anyway, as I said, I'm Neanderthal Bard, poet in residence for Crisis. I'm going to do a couple of poems for you. One of my jobs over the last 2.5 years has been to try and highlight and emphasise the different faces of homelessness. There are ones that we see, the obvious people that are in a situation where they're rough sleeping, they're sleeping on the streets. But there are other sides of homelessness that when we think of homelessness, not everybody thinks about. So the first poem, tackles one of the obvious issues amongst rough sleepers, and that's abuse of alcohol. So this poem is called Free. This world is so cold when you have no home. Very few friends and no warm clothes, with old bones sore from cold stone floors and your sitting position. You are a coalition of dog friends and daydreams. You are strong lager on top of cheap cider, but it's time to find a nicer narrative. One with a kindness activated additive before you die from the lack of it. You see, you're not to blame. Homelessness came into your life uninvited while you were fighting with a frightening mind, and now you're relying on passers-by to find the cost of your first frosty jack of the day, because it's that takes you away from those small change exchanges and those copper requests as you dodge death before you cough your last breath. Now, how can they dispute the destitute from their corner offices? They got to be stopped from causing more atrocities, but on a street level. Like that devil with a notepad trying to find a broke lad for having no cash and no couch left to crash on. See me? I just think that is wrong. Now, I know that homelessness wasn't in your 5-year plan. And I can see that you understand that your pallor has become ghoulish, and you've started scaring off the tourists and those in smart suits, those overly astute business executives with their iPod set to a collective set list of smooth tunes and cool vibes as they decide to pass you by and not to give. That's their prerogative. Now I can see that you're just begging today. No tunes filled with well-rehearsed verses, because cash converters saw some worth in your tired old amp and your beat-up guitar so you could buy some dog food. Maybe a couple of cans of special brew. You see, you have been trapped by ice-cold mornings following sub-zero nights as your eyes try to find an escape from another day on bended knee. Now they can see that you're homeless, but I think that means free. Free to what? Free to freeze. Free to feel starving. Free to be disregarded. Free to what? Free to beg for loose change. Free to pray for an end of days. Free to what? Free to hide inside libraries out of the cold. Free to eat food that's grown its own mould. Free to what? Free to die in your 40s after drifting away from their daytime dash as another lost soul sings for their cash. Free to what? Free to wonder what went wrong before singing Elton John's sad song Say So Much. Free to hustle. Free to busk. Free to slowly lose trust. Now, as cold nights draw into the end of short days, and this whole high street becomes a stage for obnoxious youths and prostitutes, half-drunk yubs with loud-mouthed gobs, and as one girl sobs, you hear another lass laugh. But then as you pass past those footpath spikes, you're going to be out of sight and out of mind. But tonight you're going to be just fine, because a bottle of White Lightning costs just $3.89. Cheers. Yeah, so tackling one of the obvious problems there. The next poem is, like figures now suggest that people that sleep rough on the streets only count for 7% of people that are recorded as homeless. The others are sleeping in homeless hostels. Not a home, it's a hostel, it's not a home. They're in emergency accommodation, that is not a home. They're living on people's sofas, trying to slot in with other people's daily lives, while not getting in the way at the same time. So this next poem, it's called Ode to a Sofa Surfer. I don't think there is any, there's many people out there that couldn't say that they had offered their settee to a friend who needed it, or on the other shoe on the other foot, say that they needed to use somebody else's, settee because they were short of somewhere to go. So, Ode to a Sofa Surfer. So I'm sitting here with my head in a mess, just waiting for the rest to go to bed so it can be just me and the TV. You see, being alone isn't always lonely, as being lonely is not the same as being alone. It's their home, not mine. I lost mine a while ago. Now I still have hopes, but I don't grow those hopes, so it seems there will only ever be dreams. Here for 3 weeks and move on before too much of me is too much to take. I am one mate sofa away from my own place, or no place at all. Now I carry all my life in 2 bags for life since the wife and I split. And I still pick up the kids from school, because it's not their fault. So I see them most evenings, take them out every other Sunday. But one day, I know I will own 4 walls. And one day, I know I will own a wardrobe that will stand next to my own bed. Books on a shelf, self-worth in check, right next to my self-respect. I want to be expected to buy a TV licence. It'd be nice to vote, provide a part-time home for my kids to stay over. I am slowly becoming a no one with nowhere to go, no job, no home, no life. Is this all that I've got to look forward to? I have to stop at the top of all forms before I can fill in an address. Where am I staying again? And can I list it without risking my mate and his kids' benefits, because staying at his is against the rules and life is cruel, and I'm caught in a hole as short-term goals get further away, and my own thought control is my only escape until the day it evades me. Is it the situation that's crazy, or is crazy replacing me, making me unable, forsaking my stable traits? I am running out of mates and places to stay. So when will my day come, when the sun shines into my eyes through a set of blinds that I forgot to close, after going to a bed at a time that I chose, when the dirty clothes on the floor belong to those born from me? Is it wrong to want more from me than this hell? Sometimes I think a prison cell would be better than this, except I wouldn't get to see my kids. See, this bitch of a system is stripping me bare. The council won't help, they've got no duty of care, and I paid for years into social care when I left care, and I genuinely cared for those that had less, and now I have less friends, and back then as their wits end with me, confessing that this depression is taking me to places where I hate me, confiscating my true sense while breaking down in their presence, right there on their sofa. How did I fall so far into despair? It was never meant to be like this. See, a tragic accident left me with 4 fingers less. And I've been trying so hard and I can't use my left. What use is a chef that can't hold a knife? No job, no home, no wife. Is this my life now? You know, I no longer get to see my kids' milk turn brown or cook French toast for those that mean most to me. And I know I was supposed to be strong, but when me and the missus stopped getting along and it all took a wrong turn and my hurt was all I saw. She never pushed me. I voluntarily walked out the door before all was lost, because I honestly thought I could claw it all back. So I still hack at the hedges I planted. I still mow the lawn I laid on my own, because this is still my family's home. It's not a no-go zone, even though I no longer live there. And to be fair, I was no picnic to live with when I lost half of my right fist. It left me bitter and twisted. I'm so far from being fixed with mixed feelings, brought on from the loss. Do you know, I was once a boss on the line. I was a pro on the pass. I shared laughs after service with those that I have nurtured and furthered careers for years. So I am so sorry if my sob story has got to a point of monotony, but it's chopping me down inside. Maybe if I can sort out my life, then my wife might have second thoughts. See how hard that I've fought to keep normal on the surface. See, it's her and my kids that make my life worth it. She hasn't replaced me. But before she hated me, I closed a gate on a relationship that would damage our kids and the life that they live. And now I'd give all I have to have it all back. But all that I have is in 2 plastic bags. And all that I am is a 1.5-handed man. Now the truth hurts, but my life could be worse. I never needed to sleep on the streets. But the friends I have left are losing interest. Warm welcomes are too soon, wearing too thin, moving in and out again on a list of counselling, trying to deal with what could be seen as a small loss. But if I'd lost half a leg, then my life as a chef wouldn't be dead, and instead I can't cling on to a career that I've been in for years. As it slips for a grip that no longer exists. So the tears still stream as I disappear into dreams on these settees all owned by my friends. I dream of the garden that I still tend, in the hope of a happy end, being with my family and breathing again. But the separation is crippling. It's left me emotionally brittle and weak. I feel like a freak of nature, and I still can't make her change her mind unless I change the way I see myself. Yeah, I've been to hell, but I'm on the return journey, turning her into burning ambition. My mission is leaving the loss behind. It's no longer mine to own. Until the day comes when I can turn around and just go home. Thank you. That's quick. Don't smoke at home, kids. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, I've got a little bit more time than I thought I had. So I'm just going to share another one of my poems. I suppose it's the only poem that really what's ever been a love poem that I've ever really written. Yeah, it's called Evolution, Baby. What's left to share once we've donated our hearts? Because I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough love to last. But please, take from me what I share with you, because I'm richer for sitting and hearing your views on a day I do poetry to people I've never even met. I still struggle through the days I forget to forget. But real love It relies on the heart and not what the eyes see, because what's not seen by mere mortals is always seen by me, as my reality lacks clarity, and apparently 3 thought is now 4 thoughts. Somehow so I'm going to pull my jaw taut for now, because I care about the fair, the just and the right, and I am going to fight right by your side. I will muster my mind, just not on the nights when my mind's Kentucky fucking fried. Look, real love is that feeling that our hearts invite, but it's only part supplied by mankind. It's like an essence protection, like a sense of direction. You see, my morals, they are hardwired into a blast-fired compass, encompassed in thin-veiled guilt, but built on a strong foundation as they wait for us salvation to appear. And do what? We've love from lost tears. Look, just don't be sad. Remember, we are products from our mums and dads. So when you look in that mirror, take that smile that's looking back and make that what keeps you on track and true, because life is cruel without a network of selfless hands easing the demands on the needy and the scared by the greedily prepared. Look, we're fucking amazing, so it's crazy to engage in the devastation of a majority for the compensation of a minority. All I want to be is a sentient being. I'd start a brand new beginning. I'd be singing from the rooftops. If you need love, then I've got lots. But then I look at myself, and these pieces that make me. This shit was tested in hell. This is evolution, baby. So now I fill all my voices with knowledge to keep my empathy sound. I am just trying to become what makes my future self proud. So the next line is the last line, so let's make it fierce and strong. You own your own future. So let your future belong. Thank you. I'm going to leave a link to another poetry short film that talks about mental health and its impact on homelessness, either leading into homelessness or becoming a problem whilst being homeless. They are two different things. Living on the streets is so mentally taxing that it can exacerbate previous conditions, or it can manifest new conditions. I mean, it's a dangerous world out there for if you sleep rough. It really is, and it's really hard. I think now amongst what's happening at the moment, it's a proper dangerous place to be, so let's remember to be a bit extra kind. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to leave that link on the event page. Thank you everybody for listening. Be kind, be cool, take care.